It's Reimers back for month 34 this time, finally. After almost 3 years, I am in Korea. Apologies if the mic quality is not as good. I don't have my like full setup. I'm using like some AirPods right now. But yeah, I mean it's been kind of years in the making, so I'm excited to kind of talk about how it's been. And I think there's a lot of kind of interesting insights language learning wise that hopefully you guys can find valuable. So in the final weeks of prep, I kind of took it chill. I had like the whole like the great lock-in thing starting in November. I'm actually very glad I did that. So I had mined, nearly 1,500 new words, which, was actually very noticeable. I still think like it's definitely to the point where I like knew I was not like amazing going in. Um, but I think that it was good that there was just other things that I was like kind of like focused on, like wrapping up work and stuff, and um, you don't want to burn out like before you go. But it definitely felt like from November, December, going into like the second half of February, the first half of February, kind of like chilled out on like the intensity of the immersion. But I've like still did a bunch of calls and it like felt good. Um, so yeah, so I arrived in Korea 1 week ago. Here's some pictures, of course. There's Namsan Tower. Here is the Riverwalk. I forgot what this is in Korean. And here is in Songsu. There's like a shop right on this corner that sells these like mochi things, and also it's like a chain. Like they have one in Coex too. Um, it's good. Like this tangerine one wasn't amazing. Like there was kind of a lot of pulp, but the strawberry one was good. Anyways, it's been a lot of fun. I've had a genuinely a lot of fun. Um, on the language side, the most interesting thing has been, and I feel like I could imagine like someone like Matt vs Japan talking about this at points. But I totally see how you could go your entire life here and never speak a word of Korean. Um, and I think what's really interesting is that the people who come to the US do not have this problem, and they do not have this problem for three reasons. So, one, if you are, like, for example, let's say you're a Korean student, you go to the US, um, basically everywhere you go, even if you go to like the most rural part of Kentucky, um, they will assume you're an American and speak English. Like, there's basically nowhere in the US where they would not assume you speak English and would not assume you're American. Um, the two, they will never not talk to you in English. If you're a Korean and you go to the US, nobody knows Korean, bro. Like, they will only talk to you in English. And three, they will never give up on talking to you in English, right? Like, if you like ask for clarification, if you ask for help, if you look confused, they're just going to keep talking to you in English over and over until either like they give up talking to you altogether, or you figure it out. And so what's interesting is all three of these are not the case here. And I think this makes the kind of like forcing function of being in a country for language learning slightly more difficult, right? Like I feel like the people who go to the US, they tend to come back a lot better at English. Not all of them, but most of them. And I think the reason is because you're kind of forced to. Like I know Matt had talked about this a lot with like his like kind of like survival, like fight or flight thing. Like you kind of need to trigger this in your body. And basically, if you go to Korea, you will like, I don't think you will feel like, holy shit, I like need to learn Korean or I'm going to die. It's like you can kind of get by. Now, with that said, I think this is a kind of like intentional slider you can decide, right? So one of the best advice that I got from when I talked to Matt was he was like, don't make foreigner friends. Like there's going to be foreigners everywhere and it's going to be so easy to make friends with them. Don't make friends with them. And this was truly incredible advice, like actually incredible advice because yeah, I mean, there are foreigners everywhere. And like, in the lobby of the building I'm in, there's a bunch of foreigners and I like small talk with them in the elevator because it's like super chill, right? I'm like, hey guys, like, how's your day doing? Like, where are you guys from? Like, what are you up to? And all the people I've even exchanged Instagrams, right? Like, I could be hanging out with them like literally all day. But yeah, I mean, I think, I got my whole life to speak English. I would definitely not get better at Korean if I did that. And so, actually, one of my goals has been to get friends who don't speak English. And this is kind of surprisingly difficult because um, everyone looks at me and does not think I speak Korean, right? Now, at the same time, I could do a better job at like, you can kind of like talk to people on the street. Again, like small talk's a little different here, but like you can totally do that. So like if I was like something I think about sometimes is like I think most people know someone who like when they travel is just like so adventurous, right? Like they're not scared of like or like instead of where you're like, hey, like I don't think we should go in here, like it looks like a private place. They're like, I'm just gonna go and like if someone like tells me to like get the fuck out of here. Like, whatever, no big deal. I'll get the fuck out. Or they'll like go to a country that don't know a single language. They like go into a restaurant and they're like not embarrassed at all, right? Like these people exist. And so if you have that mindset, I think you could probably, the way I described it to my friend was, you can imagine two people. So one person's like 8 out of 10 at Korean and one person's like 5 out of 10 at Korean. And the 8 out of 10 at Korean is like just kind of very passive. They never really speak unless they're spoken to. And like, maybe they make like one or two friends at like a club in school, but just like not that much. And then the 5 out of 10 Korean the 5 out of 10 person at Korean is like the most extroverted person ever. Like they literally like just don't give a shit about being embarrassed. They don't give a shit about like being rejected. And they're just like constantly like putting themselves in new situations and talking to people. Like that person will probably be better at the end of like 4 months to a year than the person who started, 30 to 40% ahead. And anyways, I'm working on this. So I've done a couple hangouts with friends who the main thing with this is I have lots of friends who speak Korean and speak English, and we just end up speaking in English. This happens over and over. I like tell them to speak to me in Korean, and we'll speak in Korean for like a little bit, and then either I will have something I want to say, don't know how to say, or they will have something they want to say, and I don't understand it. And both of us, like even if you tell yourself like, hey, we're only going to speak in Korean, just subconsciously, the other person will understand you. If you speak English, and so you do. It's unavoidable. It's literally unavoidable. There's nothing you can do. And so really, yeah, the only solution is to get friends who don't speak English. Now, I don't think like speaking English is necessarily bad because, again, there's like this like time in your conversation where, let's say you're speaking 95% in Korean, and then there's just like this tail 5% that you don't know how to say. Well, it can be nice to just say it in Korean or say it in English rather than having to like, pause and talk to ChatGPT. But I think that basically it's just like, I think outside of a very controlled environment, like a tutoring session, where the other person will have a lot of discipline, I think I've just found that most of my friends are not able to keep up this level of discipline. And here, so I'll get to that in a bit. On this one, oh man, why is my computer so slow? Holy crap. Wait, what is happening? Okay, anyways. There's some days where I've like done like kind of, I think the first day I kind of just went around Seoul alone. I basically talked to no one. Like I said like less than 10 words the entire day. And I think this is because one, I wasn't with anyone, and there's never really a reason to like talk to someone outside of these like very hyper-specific situations. That's what I've been calling them, such as like ordering and checking out. And the thing with these hyper-specific situations is they're hyper-specific. They have hyper-specific vocab and these like very hyper-specific phrases and a hyper-specific script. And I don't know how to navigate these because they've never come up in my immersion. And it was really funny because someone told me, oh, these are like, you don't really know these like real conversations. But I actually think these are not real conversations. These are like very scripted, very hyper-specific conversations that like, these are like what tourists learn, right? Like you like memorize them once and then you're fine. And I actually think real conversations, like just like kind of like chatting is actually what I'm much better at. Ordering, checking out was like very scary because I don't know the script. And there are definitely some times where I'm like at a restaurant and you just kind of like nod along. But actually yesterday I went to this lunch place and I felt much more confident. Like I actually like felt really good. And I like, I've been learning, like I know the word for receipt now, and I know the word for like, how do I check out? And I know the word for, and also like culturally, like you just kind of know how stuff works. Like I think the second day I went to this restaurant, and it's so weird here. You like, or not weird. It's just different here. You usually like pay at this kiosk at the table, and then when you want to leave, you just like get up and leave. Anyways, I like went to this restaurant. There was no one else there, so it was like just me. And they gave me this like massive portion of noodles, and I had like maybe like a third of it, and I was completely full. And I just like felt so bad. Like I felt like they would like think I like didn't like it, even though it was good if I left. But like I didn't know like if I had to like say I was gonna leave, or you just like get up and leave, or like I didn't even know. Anyways, I like stayed there, kind of like being scared for like 20 minutes. That was pretty funny. Okay. So yeah, the interactions I've had. So I had dinner with a friend. So this friend spoke like, I would say they understood most of the English I told them, and their English speaking was like not very good. I think, yeah, I'm not an interesting person in Korea yet. There are, many more things I don't even begin to know how to say than immediately than not. It's kind of sad. Like I can definitely like when I talked to Matt, he was like when he went to Japan, he knew how to say virtually everything he wanted to say. But at the same time, right, like this is in the past. Like I mean, I've talked about this before. Like of course, I could have spent more time on Korean, but I like other shit that I like actually really enjoy doing. I think I'm like, better than most people, and I think I can, of course, get a lot better. Like a lot of people when they go to the U.S. are probably at the level I'm at now. Like I have a friend who, yeah, he went to the U.S. He was at the level was at now, and like he got a lot better. And I think I'm doing the right things to get a lot better, and I can keep immersing, of course. Speaking of immersion, yeah. So Matt had talked about this, like 24 hours of a constant immersion. Like this is really hard to achieve in an English speaking country, but you can kind of do that here. For the first week, I've been kind of like raw dogging, walking around. Like I've been doing like no AirPods on the train, on walking around, which I actually think is very good. Like I actually think you just pay attention a lot, you listen a lot because yeah, like you're in like any cafe and it's like the most Korean you've ever heard in your life, right? Like literally everywhere you go is like interesting. You're just like listening all the time. It's really cool. But there are some times where there's like truly nothing going on, and I think like obviously maximizing immersion, I can definitely do like more of the immersion I was doing back home. Like I basically did like no Netflix, like no podcast, like basically nothing this week because I was just like so like present, which actually I think is good, right? Like that's totally a good thing. I don't think that's actually bad. And then yeah, so after this dinner, I was like, holy fuck, like I'm so cooked, dude. And then yeah, I went back on mom and I did some phone calls, and I'm like, oh shit, like I can actually have a conversation. And then yeah, last night I got coffee with this friend who yeah spoke like basically no English, which was the first time, and they were actually very nice. They were very patient. But yeah, I think I'm like pretty awkward. I There's a lot of times I like don't know what to say. There's a lot of times I've asked for clarification. I don't think like feel like myself or I sound like myself. Like I think in English, I mean, you guys have listened to me talk for probably like a very long time at this point. Okay, I love to talk. I have lots of things that I want to say. I feel like extremely eloquent in English. I feel like I can deliver my ideas very well, and so it's I think it definitely like my personality just comes off very different. Like I think I like feel good about the fact that I'm like a good conversation partner and an interesting conversation partner in English, and like this is just not the case in Korean yet. I think the good thing though is that there are some people you meet where this will be a barrier to you being friends with them. Like there are some people where if I was better at Korean, they would be friends with me, and if I am the skill I am at now, they'd be like, yeah, this guy can't fucking speak Korean. Like I'm not gonna be friends with him. But there are definitely people who this does not matter. Like there are some people who like just want to have like a foreigner friend. It's just like cool to them, and so like to them they are like basically willing to forgive a like kind of difficult conversation, and so I think finding those people, and I think just acknowledging it's not going to be everyone. Like there are probably going to be conversations where it's like kind of awkward, and the person like doesn't want to hang out again. Like that's going to happen. And then over time you like get better and you like kind of unlock more people, right? So yeah, so the plan, I think yeah, keep immersing. I think I think I have some good content to keep kind of listening to, doing passive audio too on the train and stuff. And then yeah, I think just keep doing these in-person hangouts with people who don't speak English. And yeah, there's going to be times when it's kind of awkward. There's going to be times when, yeah, I like don't feel good. Like I remember like I wasn't like about to cry, but like, there were moments where like, last night where I was very genuinely sad in the moment. I was like very sad. I'm like, oh fuck, man. Like I want to have this conversation and like, I like can't. And there's like nothing I can like do in that moment. Right. Like there's nothing I just like, it feels like such a kind of like kind of let down when you're like you like kind of asked to like pull out GPT. But anyways, yeah, I mean it's not worth to like throw a fucking pity party. Like just keep doing them, right? And like I said, like sometimes it's gonna be uncomfortable, and like some people aren't gonna give a shit, and you just gotta like stick with those people and hang out. And yeah, so I'm gonna be here till the end of June. So I'm really hoping I get a lot better. I think it'd be a shame if I didn't. I think I'm doing the right things, mainly that I'm not hanging out with foreigners. I think that's, I feel very, very strongly that, although that would be very easy, that is not how I'm going to get better. And so, yeah, so that's me. it's been a lot of fun. I think also, hey, yeah, I guess I didn't really talk about this. On the bright side, the level I have has been like very good, right? Like reading signs, like ordering places, like listening to conversations. Like I would feel like very scared if I came in and like didn't know any Korean. Like I actually would be like, holy fuck, like this is like terrifying. But I feel like I am like much less worried about my like general well-being and safety and like just like comfortability. Like I just like go in places and I like like yeah, I was like on the train, right? And there was a sign that's like, hey, if you go up these stairs, you like can't transfer. You have to like go this other way, like turn around. And yeah, if you didn't read English, you would not know what the fuck, or if you only knew English, you would not know what the fuck that sign meant. But like, I know Korean and I could read that sign. Like, that's so cool. Like, go me, right? So yeah, so thank you guys so much for watching as always, and I hope that this was kind of interesting, and I'm excited to see my progress, especially as how I feel. I think it's like it's hard for me to convey to you guys like how good my language ability is. Like I know I like do the recordings, and maybe I can do like a recording of like an in-person conversation at some point. Like if I had to describe this call to you last night, like just imagine like talking to like a young child who has to like ask their mom for help every like 2 to 5 minutes. That's the vibe I would get. But maybe in a couple months it will not be that way. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you next month for month 34, 1 month before 3 years. And bye bye, peace.